All right. The people that I've seen try it seem to be close to done, and everyone else seems to be giving up. So, let's go through this. What is it that we don't know for our inequality up here? So just for what's up here, just for this first part, looking at the paragraph in part A, what don't we know? How many people? I don't know how many people are writing. So what should we do if we don't know something?
We give up on this way of solving.
We don't. That unfortunately doesn't help us. Put in a variable. You can use an X. You can use P for people. You could use your own initial. You could use a happy face emoji. I don't care. It's a placeholder. P for people. Oops, sorry. So let's use P for people. The number of people. I'm so good at writing. All right, so that does stand for the number of, it doesn't mean hashtag here, it means number. Yeah, we need to work on that whole, going in between classes instead of leaving every day because they're starting to track that on us.
I got you.
So.
Just the only time
Well, I know, but the fact that you're going at, 1 o'clock every single day, they're starting to track those patterns. Mm-hmm. So,
I got one chart. I got one before.
I know, but you can also go in the passing grade. That's what they're trying to get y'all to do.
I don't have enough time.
You sat in here for like 5 minutes.
You don't know how the bathrooms be looking though. They be over cluttered.
I know, but we can wait in the line. You also very close to my room. Just saying. They're starting to track those and they're going to get us in trouble. All right. So I know that we're going to have P stand for people. What can we do with that? Does that help us? How? So we're going to do for one boat. Do one boat. So what do we know about our boat? It can carry 1,200 pounds. Of people and stuff. Is your foot asleep? Yeah. Okay, then stand up and walk around instead of stomping like a horse. What else do we know?
Assuming the average weight of a person is 150 pounds.
So the data they have is that the average weight of their passengers is 150 pounds. So we can assume about 150 pounds a person.
Each group will have a 200-pound gear.
So we need 200 pounds of gear for the boat. That's a the, not a he.
That's 10 pounds of gear per person.
And 10 pounds of gear for each person. Oh, wrong button.
So you're 150 pounds, and the gear is 200 pounds.
So see if we can figure out our inequality. Now we have a whole bunch of people here, or a whole bunch of information here. See if that helps us find our inequality. If you're super stuck, see if we can figure out how to get it to exactly be 1,200 pounds, and we'll figure out the inequality part later. What will we need to do? So first step on these, if we get stuck, is to find what we know and what we're looking for. So right, we're looking for the number of people. So
Yeah, set it up.
yeah, set it up. That would be what I'm asking you to do. Set it up. See what we can do. This headband is so slippy. I don't know why I did that. I already have water.
We have points of people. Like a little baby. Does that count?
They still count as whole humans.
That's, so a baby is 150.
Average.
I said it.
So he's gonna be something in there.
They still count as humans.
What are we talking about?
People.
So let's say each person is 150.
Say each person is 150. What does that help us do?
Technically,
No.
wouldn't it be like 150 times P?
Yeah, 150 times P. That tells me what? The weight of the people, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. What else do we need? I've got the gear for the boat. So we need to include the gear for the boat. That's 200 pounds. What are we doing with the weight of the gear in the boat and our people? We're going to add them together. Is that everything we need for our boat?
No.
What else do we need? 10 pounds of gear per person. So how am I going to put that? If each person needs 10 pounds of gear, what are we going to do with the 10? Say it louder down there because I think you had it. I thought you had it. Yeah, I need 10 for each person, but we don't know how many people there are. So 10 for every person. 10p. And we're combining that with the rest of the weight in this boat, right? So we're gonna add it. So I got all my people in the boat. I got this would be the motor for the boat. And I've got their fishing rods and lures and bait for each person here. Huh? Life jackets. So we know it's going to have something to do with our total of 1,200 pounds.
Wouldn't it be like less than?
Which side, I'm going to give us title so we can look at it. So we're going to say this is side A and this is side B. Which side's going to be bigger? Side A or side B? Because if side B is bigger, would that sink my boat? Yeah, probably. It's outside my safety regulations. So I need this side to be less than 1,200. Could it be equal? It can carry 1,200, only carry 1,200 pounds. So it could be 1,200 pounds or less. So it could equal. So I'm going to get rid of the brackets in the A and the B, just because that was so we could talk about it. So that is one way to build this inequality. There are several different ways I've seen people build it. Now let's see if we can come up with our answer. How would we go about simplifying this? Combine like terms. What do we have that are like terms? The 150p and the 10p. So that's going to give us what? Yeah. So we have our 1,200 greater than or equal to 160p plus 200. I'm going to give us a little bit more space because I wrote kind of big. Down. There we go. I'm just bringing it down here so we can actually see what I wrote. Now what would we do? Subtract 200 from both sides. As long as I do the same thing to both sides, I can do whatever the heck I want to it.
P have 2.6.25.
So we have 1,000 greater than or equal to 160p. Now what? It's been multiplied. So what do we do to undo it? Divide. We use that inverse operation. We undo it. Divide by our 160 because I want that p by itself. And what do we get? 6.25 is greater than or equal to p. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph our solution here. I'm going to draw it on this number line. And then we'll talk about practically what this means. So on a number line, and I know it doesn't give you one in the book, but we're going to draw like a double line arrow like this. And we usually have them numbered like 0, 1. I made that very big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
How would I draw this on there? 6.25, so somewhere around here. Ooh, here, like that. That is right at 6.25.
Yeah, it's greater than.
Are we going to do a colored in circle or an open circle?
Is it a color center?
Since it's equals to,
Color.
we are going to color it in. That's an Algebra 1 thing. It's been a hot minute since we did that. And then we're going to have to figure out where we're coloring in. Are we going to the left of my purple dot or to the right of my purple dot? If 6.25 is greater than or equal to p. If we went right, that would mean 8 was in our solutions. Is 8 a value that makes that true? So if I put 8 in for p, is that true?
No, it's
No. So be careful with the greater than means right kind of thinking because that only works in specific situations. So our solution set goes this way. So it's things at 6.25 and smaller. What does our P stand for again? Number of people, right? Can I have 6.25 people? If you tell me I've got a quarter of a person on a boat, you took a leg and threw it in the boat. That's a leg. That is not a baby.
Everybody in the boat is missing a leg.
Amputees still count as whole humans. They count as people.
Yeah.
If you have a quarter of a person, that tells me you threw a leg in. It's probably going to affect the other people in the boat.
Isn't it going to be with the 10 count added to it?
So you have a leg that has its own box of tackle and its own life vest.
Don't you?
I do not just have a random leg with its own box of tackle and a life vest.
He's the 6 and not 20.
So
If you lose your leg, you have a backup.
practically, what will our answers be? 6 and
7. 0. Oh,
6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and 0. I could run an empty boat. It would cost me money, but I could run an empty boat.
That's on the winter one.
Yeah. So practically, it's going to be only the whole numbers because we count people as whole items. Can I go negative? That would be running a ghost boat. Or,
Dead bodies.
no, they still have weight. We would have to have zombies?
Yeah.
Like, we'd have to have, like,
With the graph, you have to go.
we'd have to get zombies out of the water. Like, negative body. We'd somehow need negative bodies.
Yeah.
And we can't have negative bodies.
You're piloting it. It's robots on there.
Yeah. It would have to drive the boat without a pilot.
That's not bad.
Well, it's actually
A
possible.
remote control.
I'd be autonomous. Well, and honestly, probably not too far away, but still probably not the best idea.
Technically, would dead people work as a negative?
I mean, people that are not alive still have weight, so unfortunately, that would not make my boat lighter. Helium, if I had a whole bunch of balloons, we could like negative weight then, like up style. We'd had a whole bunch of helium balloons to the boat and made it less heavy.
Or flip the boat so everyone is like.
That seems counterproductive for my helping people go fishing activity.
No, you have people on.
Makes them closer to the fish.
No, you have people in the back and you're just.
We'd have to have somebody in the water just like pushing and swimming. Or like underneath holding it up.
Yeah.
Or beach it on the rocks. Okay.
There's a ski in the back where people.
That's more weight. That would make it heavier if you have somebody skiing out the back.
No, like with a rope.
Yeah.
The rope still has
Displacement. They still have weight. They're pulling. Your motor's still using that force on it.
weight. Use telekinesis.
Telekinesis. Yeah, if you had superpowers and lifted the boat up, that would be the only times we could get either into negatives or change our values.
Magnets.
Or if we upgraded our boat. We're getting to a whole other different kind of set of problems here, y'all. Okay.
Important.
I fully support a random tangent. We do occasionally have to bring it back in, though. Okay, but I fully support a random tangent. So now I want you guys to look at B. There's several groups that want to rent our boat. We want to know which groups can rent a boat. So look at B. See if you guys figure out which groups can rent our boat. Hands to ourselves. Children. I would say boys. Hands to self.
Young man.
If we're playing tickle games, I'm gonna go with boys.
Yeah, boys.
So what do we think? Can group 1 go?
Yes.
Because group 1 has 4 people. So group 1 is good to go.
Yeah.
How about group 2?
Yeah.
Good to go.
They've got 5 people. They'll fit on the boat. Totally fine. So True is good to go. How about group 3?
No, too much people.
Too many people.
Unless one of you should take that risk.
Unless we upgraded our business, and how many boats would they need? So,
1.5. Yeah.
can we send out a half a boat?
Yes. Cut it.
Technically. Just be though.
If you're sending a half a boat, Jaws has been to your fishing apartment or your fishing business.
Technically, a boat is like this, so you half of it's like a smaller boat.
A smaller boat is different.
Or just cut it in
No,
half.
you have the life vest with the lifeboat on the side.
Well, then it's no longer a fishing adventure; it's a swimming adventure. That would be a snorkeling adventure.
No, like the little.
It can't be half a boat because the other two
The inflatable lifeboat.
It's still a whole boat. Again, a half a boat is no longer a functional boat. You gotta have whole boats, just like you need whole people. If you cut your boat in half, you got a whole lot of water in the boat now. That's a bad time.
Well, it's on its side.
Still a bad time. Not if we run in a business. That's a whole lot of money we lost, cutting our boat in half.
I've seen it happen before, real life.
Hmm?
I've seen it happen before.
I have too.
A boat cut in half and still working.
Wow.
It is not something that you would then pay to ride.
It was kind of fun.
Because people will not ride in a half a boat if they're expecting safety and a fishing activity.
Never said they were.
Yes, fishing adventures.
They didn't say risky or safe.
Tourists' day-long fishing trip. Yes, safety.
Some tourists like the risk.
tourist day-long fishing trip. We're looking for a nice and gentle fishing trip, not an action adventure. Will my boat sink or float?
It never says they have to come back.
This is not run by the people who made the submarine. Come on.
No, it's
This is-
Squid Games.
This is not the Squid Games fishing adventure, and it's not the Titan submersible fishing adventure.
No, it's just why.
No, nice, gentle, easy, friendly fishing. Okay, so inequalities come up in lots of places. They wind up in a lot of business equations and a lot of things like supply and demand are technically usually inequalities because a lot of things work on sliding scales. So inequalities come up in a lot of things, and we're going to work with them more for like the rest of this week and about half of next week. And then we'll start reviewing for our test this next week. Test. So, homework 2-4 is about writing and solving inequalities. Awesome. Homework 2-4, and I believe homework 2-4 is the last one in this chapter.
So we're gonna end our homework for this week.
So, yeah, I didn't remember that. 4. There we go. We have a whole of 2 homework assignments this week. No, midterm grades are pulling today. So midterm grades are only what was due as of last Friday. So what is currently in Skyward will be what's on the midterm. But they were asked about midterm grades. Midterm grades are up through last Friday. So nothing from this week will be on the progress reports. They're pulling the grades for those today. I think right at 2:30. So anything that was submitted as of yesterday should be in there and up to date. But that's where it is. And it's just a progress report. It's not like locking in on anything. It's kind of fun. Okay, so use this time. Y'all can do 2-4. And we'll work more with inequalities over the next few days.